We are seeing a lot of people that are showing concern for minors, and I guess it's sort of a two-pronged approach, which is first, you guys should be visiting the terms of service on Facebook and on Twitter because they thoroughly explain what it means to be a minor and what you sign up and what you agree for when you check that box and agree to their terms of usage. Pretty much, if you are a minor, you are not excluded from anything if you are posting in a public place saying awful things. With that said, we stand by the fact that we think the best time to be on our database is when you are a minor, because that's exactly what we're trying to do. We are trying to affect their, conscience when they're young, so they know to use the internet more responsibly when they're older. There's no harm, no foul, really, if you're a minor, right? You have this profile for 365 days. You're not applying to college. You're not, going out for a job. It doesn't do anything to affect your livelihood in any way. So we think that that's really honestly the best time for people to learn. And by the way, we don't want to exclude minors because minors are the ones that are killing themselves because of what they're reading online, right? We're seeing 10-year-olds, 11-years, 12-year-olds that are committing suicide. Suicides are on the rise for kids that are really young, and it's because no one's been able to get a hand on the bullying, and they, don't necessarily have the tools at that age to know how to cope with it. So that's actually where we are trying to make the most change. This is a comment. I feel that 1 year is harsh for minors. They are still learning. Okay, so you guys that keep saying this are kind of what is exactly wrong with the internet today. Your child should not be given the internet to learn. They shouldn't be trying out the internet, and trying out saying bad words on the internet. You should be sitting down having conversations with them about how serious the internet is. We say that the internet, technology, it's just like giving somebody a gun. You can kill yourself with it, or you can kill somebody else with it. And that is exactly what we are seeing that is happening. And these are the kinds of conversations, the serious tone of the conversations that we want adults to start having with their children. And if these conversations are had because we exist, then great. We don't want minors to be using the internet to learn. I mean, that is exactly why we're seeing so much damage being done on the internet right now. All of that said, it's very important to know, to kind of calm you guys all down, that the overwhelming majority of the submissions that we had to date are not minors. They are coming from adults. They are coming from people that are above the age of 30 even. So what we're gonna see when we launch, what you guys will be able, to notice in terms of the trends is that this database is not filled with minors. So it's nothing that you really need to be concerned about. I am concerned about the legal and criminal implications of posting screenshots that should normally be investigated through schools and the police with due process. That was from Patricia. Patricia, that comment or question sort of confused me. I don't know why we're talking about due process. We are not submitting these comments, to the police and saying that people should be tried. We're not involved in the due process at all. We are just an archive. If that is your concern should be why these words are being said on the internet at all, not why a secondhand database is collecting the data based off of what's shared. Again, we think that questions like that sort of reveal to us the disconnect that people have between the internet and the words that are being said on the internet versus real life, and it's it's a little bit alarming. But yeah, that question altogether, we have nothing to do with legalities and due process of law, and we are not working with police to make sure people who say bad things get arrested. So it's wrong database, I think. This next one came from a journalist. John from the Stanford Advocate says, so Owens and her team will serve as judge and jury. Yes, John. That's sort of how it works when you have any company. Mark Zuckerberg and his team play judge and jury when somebody flags something as inappropriate and they decide whether or not they think it's inappropriate. So yes, from our, for our team, we decide what we think meets the standards of harsh language. That's just what it means, to own a company. You get to decide these things. Twitter decides what's appropriate, what can be said, what can't be said on their database, and Instagram decides what's appropriate, what can and what cannot be said on their database. So we, again, are not reinventing the wheel here. We are deciding what is the language that we consider worthy of adding to our database. With that said, we are definitely not acting as the jury. We do not recommend these people get fired or recommend that boyfriends break up with their girlfriends. We are just literally an archive of somebody's words. What people, deduce from that or induce from that, employers, universities, that is completely up to them, and we think that they have the right to do that. How do you think it is a good thing and a just thing to try to ruin someone's career and take away their livelihood over words that are typed on social media? Again, that question terrifies me. There is just such a gap. People think that the internet is like a video game, that they can go home and say whatever they want over social media and then get back to real life, which is why he's using this word livelihood. That is not the case. You are affecting somebody's livelihood with your words. When you log on the internet and you tell someone that they are disgusting, that they are ugly, that they don't deserve to live, that they are fat, you are affecting that person's livelihood. You are making that person sad. You're making that person depressed. The internet is a real thing, and just because you're typing it does not make your words any less real. What you type on the internet is a part of your livelihood, and we stand by that and we stand firm on that. Comment here that says, people need to toughen up. Words from an idiot mean nothing. I've been called names on here. I've been threatened. You take that garbage with a grain